Got a Spellbook of Judgment. But off that, he drew another Super Rejuvenation, and now things are just getting a little silly.
Wow.
You think he drew the third one? That'd be pretty good. Finals of the World Championship. One duel away from winning. Triple Rejuvenation,
cards?
draw 12 cards.
Wow. 8 cards.
That would be an impressive way to do it, but 8 cards is still pretty good.
You think?
All right, at the end of the turn, he's got to discard down to 6, and he's pitched some more dragons to do it. All right, so there's a face-down Dracosac and a Redox that's only going to be here until the end of the turn.
Players get instructed to shuffle Huang's deck, I think.
I think you're right. Although why that was done after all the cards were drawn for Super Rejuvenation mystifies me. Perhaps there's an effect I missed. Keener's up. Starts things off with Spellbook of Eternity. That lets you retrieve any of your banished Spellbook spells. Of course, he picks Spellbook of Judgment. And it looks like there is a discussion being held over the number of spell counters on each of the Star Halls, and whether or not he has enough dice at his disposal to mark them all. Well, he does now. He's got the Judgment, but if he doesn't have enough of a follow-up for it, he might try to wait things out one more turn. Now that is if he has the cards to help him stay in the game long enough. There are a lot of dragons in that graveyard.
He has one trap card in hand. I can't really see what it is.
That's a Phoenix Wing Windblast, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the Judgment and 2 other spells. 1 monster.
Yep, probably Spellbooks. He's going to start things off with Judgment. That's 8 spell counters on his Star Halls, which means that all of his spellcasters will gain 800 attack points.
So, out of your little dudes, you make big dudes.
Yep.
There comes a little dude.
Oh, he's got a Jowgen. He can randomly discard a card to destroy all special summon monsters on the field, which would include everything on his opponent's side of the field. But first, Spellbook of Secrets. He's maxed out the first dice being used as a spell counter. His monsters are now plus 1,000, and he's going for a search. Goes to get Spellbook of Power. That can add another 1,000 onto a spellcaster, and if the monster enchanted by Spellbook of Power defeats another monster in battle, you get to search for yet another spellbook.
And by playing the Spellbook of Power, he actually boosts his monster by 1,200 because he gets 2 spell counters.
Yep. Which he's going to do. So, puny little Jowgen, who starts off at a measly 200 attack points, gets 1,000 out of the power, that's 1,200, and he's also getting another 1,200 out of the Star Halls, making him a 2,400 attack point level 3 monster that prohibits special summoning. And also searches out another spellbook if it defeats anything in battle.
I think he's doing the math as well.
Yep. Always got to do your math. 2,400 is enough to take out Dracosac, which means that Keener gets to search for another spellbook. Now, he has yet to get the Grand Spellbook Tower on the field, but I think at this point it's more important that he start to recycle his fates so that any possible recourse his opponent will have will just get banished.
Now he activates Master.
Yep. And he's copying secrets. More spell counters. He's keeping track to make sure that he has the right number of cards for Spellbook of Judgment at the end of the turn. This time he's going to go get his Grand Spellbook Tower. That'll start him off drawing an additional card every turn. And it's a spellbook, so it'll continue to power up little Jowgen over there. Not so little Jowgen anymore, is he?
And it counts for Judgment.
Yep. There's the Grand Spellbook Tower. This is going to get out of hand really fast for Huang.
I don't think he has enough dice. I think somebody needs to get him more dice.
Well, I mean, there's 3 more there. That's a good 18 more counters. He's not going to play 9 more spells, is he? He is, isn't he? All right. Keener sets 2 Spell or Trap cards to finish things up for his turn, and in the end phase, he's going to go pull a ton of spellbooks out of his now dwindling deck. Now, he can't get another copy of Spellbook of Judgment directly, but you can get a Secrets, which is the next best thing. And now, one thing to note is that he can't special summon. Jowgen is a double-edged sword there, and while it would be really nice to have Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer right about now, just to make sure, he can't get it.
There comes Mystical Space Typhoon.
Yep, Mystical Space Typhoon in the end phase. Eliminates Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
Ooh.
But we saw Spellbook of Fate earlier, so that one's probably still hiding down there.
And that was probably not the best target for him.
We still don't know what that one face-down card is from the start of the game. Now I just want to see it. You think he's just slow-rolling a Solemn Judgment for the entire game this time?
That would be an amazing bluff.
After seeing what happened last time around?
Ah, Tsukiyomi again.
Yep. Now, if you were going to use a warning or a judgment, there's Solemn Judgment. If ever there was a card to use it on, it's the one that would make you lose if it went through.
And that gets a reaction from the crowd here in the hall.
When was the last time you saw Solemn Judgment on Tsukiyomi?
2003? Yep. Huang is undeterred. He plays card destruction, discarding 5 dragons.
He is as cool as they come.
He does not want to lose this one.
No.
You get up 1-0 on a spellbook deck, which doesn't happen often, you got to win game 2. You do not want to give spellbooks a chance to get back in it.
Oh.
And he drew into Blaster and Burner. And it looks like he's discarding them to destroy Jowgen, which will turn special summons back on. That's a pretty good draw of your card destruction. Although at this point he's drawn so many cards in the duel that he's bound to get there eventually.
Now, could that face-down card be a Wisdom?
Spellbook of Wisdom? I believe it has to be Spellbook of Fate, which unfortunately he can't use now that there's no spellcaster on his side of the field. And a Wisdom wouldn't really help there because it doesn't stop monster effects.
Oh yes, it only helps against spells and traps. Is that a card to side out in this matchup?
Spellbook of Wisdom? Yes. Yes, unless you absolutely need the spellbooks, and looking at his deck list, he clearly does not. There are many spellbooks that are not wisdom, I would probably side it out. There's 1 dragon ruler, 2 dragon ruler, 3 dragon rulers.
Wow.
It's a lot of dragons. And that's it. Card destruction into burner wins the day.
Yeah.
And Shin and Huang of Taiwan is your 2013 Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game World Champion.
All right, that's it for the dueling action this weekend. We will be streaming live the awards ceremony, so stay tuned for that. And remember to check online on the 20th for the next Forbidden and Limited list. Thank you for watching.
Good night, everyone.